Hello dear students, good morning. This is Manoj Pradhan speaking from Base English classes. Up to now, we had discussed up to conjunction, and because we are last class it was part E of our grammar series, and in this section we are at present actually going through that is parts of speech, and today only the last part of speech is left, that is interjection. So again I have to write the heading of our course, namely an outline on English grammar, and today it will be part F of our grammar series. So in part E we had discussed that is preposition and conjunction, and the last part of speech, that is interjection, is left. So again I have to write, it is chapter number 1, that is some basic concepts. Some basic concepts. Again, to make you more comfortable, I want to speak something about what it means by basic concepts. Basic concepts means why we are studying this chapter, because we have to make ourselves acquainted with what we have to learn in grammar. So unless you know what words you are going to learn, what things you are going to learn, and on what facts you should make your study while studying grammar, so till that time your sincerity towards studying the grammar will not be evolved so much. For that reason, some basic concepts means which are the minimum things, which are the most indispensable things you have to study while studying the grammar. For that reason, to put the things very systematically, we have produced the indispensability of naming this chapter like this. So it was chapter number 1, that is some basic concepts, and where that is studying the parts of speech. So the last part of speech we discussed was parts of speech. Noun we have already studied, then pronoun we have studied, then adjective we have already studied, then verb we have already studied, then adverb we have already studied, then preposition we have already studied, we have already discussed, and then conjunction. So in this chapter, when we are studying the parts of speech, here our purpose is to have some preliminary information about the parts of speech. You should not have any misconception in your mind that now the way we are studying the parts of speech, that is final. So in our future classes we will be studying the parts of speech extensively. So now it is just some type of introduction to the parts of speech. That is, so means first initially a student has to know how to identify a noun word, how to identify a pronoun word, how to identify an adjective word, and how to identify a verb word, like this. So the first thing a student has to know, just while looking at any particular word, he should come to realize what part of speech that word might be when that is used in that particular sentence. That is, so it's conjunction. The last part of speech is interjection. Interjection. In Hindi, it is called Vishmabodhak Shabd. So what is interjection? Again, I would like to write one-liner definitions of this part of speech so that you feel more comfortable. Now, a word which is the name of anything. Anything means here. Anything means which you can see, which you can feel, which you can just what you get against the question what, and the name of a word which is the name of anything. That I have said. What is a word which is the name of anything? Anything means which you can feel, which you can see, which you can observe, which you can sense. That is. Then there's a pronoun. The word is used in place of noun. A word used in place of noun. Then adjective. A word that limits noun or pronoun. Verb. A word that speaks about a noun or pronoun. That is, N means short form of noun, and P stands for pronoun. So you will not be confused about that. Adverb. A word that informs about the verb. Preposition. Joins a noun or pronoun with any other word in the sentence. A conjunction. A word that joins two sentences. Interjection. What is interjection? Now we come to interjection. Interjection means any sudden reaction of the speaker is produced through the utterance of particular word, or any this type of expression. That is, any expression that might be due to surprise, due to sorrow, due to anger, or due to happiness. Suppose a person is very pleased, then how he will react. That only reaction of the speaker, that is interjection. So many grammarians do not consider interjection as a part of speech because it is not playing any part in the sentence. Suppose a person says it is raining outside. So that person's sentence was, it is raining outside. I listened his sentence and I reacted. What? It is raining outside. It is raining outside, that sentence remains as it is. But I am putting the what before that sentence. That what makes the sentence exclamatory, and the what word is the interjection word. Interjection means you're putting some other word, you're putting some word into the sentence. And that word is not having any type of relationship with any other word in the sentence. Interjection means we're putting inside. Inter means inside. Jackson means putting. That is interjection. Any sudden reaction of the speaker. Any sudden reaction of the speaker to express surprise, sorrow, wonder, happiness, pleasure, displeasure, like this. So this is just a sudden reaction. You have to, while you study interjection, one thing must be clear to you, that is sudden reaction of the speaker. Suppose someone says, it is raining outside. A says, it is raining outside. And B was not expecting to listen this sentence because B, was in such a situation that for him to expect it might be raining outside was simply not possible. So when we listen to the sentence of A, he reacts, what? It is raining outside. B repeats the same sentence of A, but difference here is the putting of what. What makes the sentence exclamatory and what is just put in this sentence, and this word does not have any grammatical relationship with any other word in the sentence. So many grammarians opine that interjection is not a part of speech. And part of speech means any word used in the sentence is grammatically named, and that naming of the word is in such a manner that it depends on what work that particular word does in the sentence. So here this word is not having any relationship with any other word in the sentence. So this does not constitute a part of speech, truly speaking, to some grammarians. So, but because we have been, knowing this word, we have been knowing about interjection, since the beginning. So still we're going to accept the presence of interjection or the use of interjection or the availability of interjection as a part of speech. So many grammarians might be opining, but still we may just take that as a part of speech because that is still inside the sentence. It's still inside the sentence. This word finds a place inside this sentence. So no doubt it is not having any grammatical relationship with any other word. Still it has been given a name, that is interjection. If you divide the word into two parts, you find inter plus jection, as you did while studying preposition, pre plus position, like this. Means you put the words inside the sentence. That is. So up to now we had been studying parts of speech, and here our purpose was to make ourselves familiar with the parts of speech at some preliminary level. So you should not feel that our study of the parts of speech is complete, and in future we'll be studying more about the parts of speech extensively. We'll be studying all the grammatical facts related to the individual parts of speech. So that is, till now some initial discussion has been done about the parts of speech. So our study of part of speech were under point number. The first point was language. The second point was sentence. The third point was technical meaning. The fourth point was types of sentence, and the fifth point was, that is, an analysis of the types of sentence. The sixth was, it was parts of speech. The next point will be, the seventh point will be phrase. The seventh point will be phrase. So what is phrase? Phrase means a group of words, working as a part of speech. And I want to make the thing, I want to reiterate the point. In the first chapter, what we're doing is we're learning about some basic concepts. And first, we knew when a word is used in the sentence, it is grammatically called a part of speech. So this is, the part of speech is a unit of a language. Similarly, Phrase is also a unit of the language. So every single word used in a sentence is part of speech. Likewise, phrase means when two or more words come together and produce a sense of a part of speech, that group of two or more words will constitute a phrase. So, for example, uh, for example, Ram's brother, Ram's brother rates in college. Who? It is Ram's brother. You're getting answer from these two words. That is Ram's brother. You put a question, that is who? It is Ram's brother. What does Ram's brother do? वो क्या करता है? You get the answer from a single word, that is it is. Where? In college. The answer is from two words. It is a two-word answer, but this is a one-word answer. So in this sentence, this is a sentence, that is Ram's brother rates in college. But in this sentence, you'll have to realize one thing. Every single word in itself is a part of speech. Ram's is a part of speech. Brother word is a part of speech in itself. Rates word is a part of speech in itself. In word is a part of speech in itself. College word is a part of speech in itself. But the next unit you have to find out, the next thing you have to find out is you are getting a sense from Ram's brother. It is giving a single sense. It is giving a separate sense. And these two words, are giving a separate sense by coming together. That is, so this is a phrase in this sentence. This is also a phrase in this sentence. But this is not a phrase. This will constitute just single part of speech. But what is important is every single word in itself will definitely be one of the 8 parts of speech. Suppose I want to consider, how these words have been used in the sentence. Ram's, this word limits the word brother. Brother is noun. This is noun word. This is adjective word. This is verb word. This is preposition word. And this is noun word. So suppose there is a sentence, the big sentence, any double sentence, any sentence. In the sentence, the first word we have to do is you have to make yourself able to identify just by watching any particular word. By watching any particular word, of what part of speech that word might be. And your identification of the part of speech depends on the action of the word in that particular sentence. That is, what this particular word is doing, what this particular word is doing in the sentence, that will be the determining factor behind naming it grammatically. So this word limits this word for that reason. This is adjective because this is a noun word. This word speaks about the noun word or noun phrase. So this is verb word. And here that is in is preposition. It takes college as object. It hits the word college. So this is a preposition, this is object. But these two words together work as adverb because Ram's brother reads. Ram का भाई पढ़ता है. राम का भाई पढ़ता है. तो कहाँ पढ़ता है? In college. कब, क्यों, कहाँ, कैसे, कितना, all these are signs of adverb. So these words together give a sign of adverb, adverbial sense. So this is adverbial phrase. In our later classes, when we'll be studying more about phrases, we'll come to realize that actually you get, parts of 8 parts of speech, and phrases are, you get the phrases in the name of all the parts of speech except pronoun. So means there's no phrase, pronominal phrase for pronoun, but you'll get noun phrase, you'll get adjective phrase, you'll get a verb phrase, you'll get adverb phrase, you'll get preposition phrase, you'll get conjunction phrase, you'll get interjection phrase. But no phrase gives a sense of pronoun because suppose there's any chance of you're being confused about the availability or unavailability of pronoun phrase, and it will suffice for me to say that if there's any need of any phrase for pronoun, the work will be done with the help of that is noun phrase. Because there's a noun phrase, for that reason the need for any phrase for pronoun may not be there. That is. So now we, just had some primary discussion about what is means by phrase. That is. So I erase the board and I will just writing the next unit of the language. Till now, you just apply your common sense, you will come to conclusion that that is the first unit of the language, the smallest unit is the part of speech. The next unit is the phrase, that is. And what is the next bigger unit? That is. So again, I'm writing the next bigger unit, that is. So again, this point has been that is. So it was part of speech 6 that we got, that is a phrase. We studied just now, that is. Then it is clause. Clause. In Hindi, it is called upvakya. That is clause. In Hindi, it is upvakya. When two or more sentences, when two or more sentences, are joined together, are joined to make a complete sentence. Those joined sentences are separately identified as clauses. When, suppose there is a sentence, I'm going to write, this is a sentence, the next sentence is I have some work, this is also a sentence. Suppose I join these two sentences, and how I join? I may join this sentence with the help of a conjunction. So, for example, I write, I am going to Raipur. Next sentence I write here is, I have some work. Means this is also a sentence, this is also a sentence. Suppose I join these two sentences with the help of a conjunction. As it has been made clear to you to join with the help of a conjunction. As it has been made clear to you to join sentences, you have to make use of conjunctions. So, I write, I am going to Raipur because I have some work. You'll observe one thing, that is, this is also a sentence, this is also a sentence. Then I join these two sentences with the help of conjunction, that is because. The because word is performing the work of joining these two sentences. That is, this is a sentence. From here to here, it will be a sentence. In these two sentences, there are, this is not, now this will not constitute, or this will not be recognized as a sentence. It will be there is clause. And this portion was previously a sentence, but here it is not a sentence, it is a clause. So this is a clause and this is a clause. And suppose I just identified this to be clause and this portion to be a clause. So another problem might occur is whether because the word because is part of this clause or this clause. sometimes you'll find that the conjunction word is, I mean, what? Is included, or it is, just mixed with one clause or other. And sometimes the conjunction word might still remain independent. It may not be total at all mixed, or it will be assimilated with any clause. So, but here I am going to Raipur. मैं रायपुर जा रहा हूँ क्योंकि मेरा कुछ काम है. You'll come to realize that क्योंकि मेरा कुछ काम है, from here to here, it might constitute a sense, and to fill that from here to where I can fill a sense is not very, very surprising. So this is a whole sentence. In the whole sentence, it might be this is clause and this is clause, and this also is included. This word is also included in this clause. So that is clause. When the sentences are joined, then after being joined, they will be identified as clauses. And conjunction also either might be inside one clause, or it might remain outside the clauses. That is. So up to now, our purpose was to what? First we studied the parts of speech, then we studied the phrase, then we studied the clause. So these are the units of language. This is the smallest unit, every single word, and this is the next, bigger one, that is phrase. Next bigger one, that is clause. But one thing you have to realize, in a clause, there must remain a subject and a predicate. Not. Because, clause is just when a sentence is used, at the time of, when a sentence is, used with any other sentence to make a sentence by joining these two sentences. So it will definitely be clear to the student that in every clause there must remain a subject part and a predicate part. Not. That is, every clause has a subject part and a predicate part. So do not be confused. When one subject plus one predicate gives a complete sense, it is a sentence. But when one subject plus one predicate does not give a complete sense, it is not a sentence. So only, suppose you say, I am going to Raipur. In this sentence will not give you a complete sense unless and until you speak the whole sentence. That is, I am going to Raipur because I have some work. So you have to start from here, starting from I, and you have to end with the word work. Then all the sentence will be finished. That is. So clause means, that is, sentence but used with other sentence to make a complete sentence. That is. So today let us stop our class. In our next class we'll be studying more about that is in our basic, the chapter that is basic concepts. Hope the things are you are getting the things clear, and if you have any confusion, I'll be intermittently or sometimes in the middle of the classes I'll be making some discussions so that these things might be more clear to you. That's stop.